are live.
All right, we are live. Welcome, everybody. Chief Carmichael here at Texas State University Police Department. Welcome to the masses in the audience, which would be, I'm not going to say, folks. And then everybody that's live, we are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Am I correct, Kat?
Correct.
All right, so this is our first safety committee meeting for the new academic year. So we're all very excited. I'd just like to point out it was a great Saturday football game. And you can't see, but Assistant Chief Benitez is in the audience, and he barbecued for all of our police staff on Saturday. And I'm just gonna say, that is the best hamburger I've had. I haven't eaten red meat over a year and a half. Best hamburger I ever had, ever, hands down. So anyway, not relevant, but I had to point it out. Kat, go ahead, get us started.
Alrighty, so to start things off, we'll do a call to order and a roll call. Matthew Carmichael, Chief of Police, UP.
Here.
Pat Hoyt, Alternative Program Coordinator, UP. Present. Daniel Benitez, Assistant Chief of Police, UPD.
Present.
Michelle Fox, Parking Lieutenant, UPD. Present. Adriana Garcia, Communications and Records Supervisor, UPD. Present. Ricky Bowie Johnson, Resident Hall Association.
Present.
Kate Gannon Culligan, Executive Director, Housing and Residential Life. She is running late, but she is on the way. Valerie Holmes, Dean of Students. Carla Munoz, Emergency Manager. Present. James Buzard, Interfaith Alliance. Sorry about that.
Here, I'll be here.
Dr. Supancic, Faculty Senate.
Here.
Abby Myers, Texas State Student Government President.
Present.
Emma Stambley, Texas State Student Government Vice President. Chad Willis, Staff Counsel. Dan Costello, Associate Vice President of Facilities. And he is joining us virtually.
Hi.
Daryl Schmidt, Associate University Librarian, University Services.
Thank you, Kat. Next on the agenda is the minutes. The minutes are posted online on video. I think we're going to, since we post the actual meeting, Kat, I would recommend or make a motion that we just remove the review of the previous minutes since they're not into question because the actual meeting's posted.
Okay.
Anybody have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Opposed? Okay, no longer minutes. Kat, CSC updates, online reporting?
Yes, so effective last week, we now have the ability on the website for students, faculty, or staff to go online and they can submit anonymous or non-anonymous tips for the safety committee. It can be anything, parking, facilities, transportation, safety, and then they can go in there and choose what they would like to say it is. It's, they can add photos, videos, documents, that sort of stuff. So if somebody cannot join us or doesn't want to wait a month beforehand, they can also join and submit something online.
Thanks for that work, Kat. I appreciate that. Any questions from the committee on this? No, everybody good? Right, next is our campus safety initiatives, which is the most important fall safety walks. Good that we have Mr. Costello online. I'm not sure, are we going to be able to pick up his audio? Yes.
Yes.
So,
I'm going to go ahead and
for the
share
campus
my
safety walk, I thought it would be, let's set the date as a committee. So I'll leave it, I'll open it up to the committee as far as what kind of date you're looking at.
I know that Dan was trying to join online, but we have the audio going on from all of our mics. So if we want to mute briefly so we can talk.
Yeah, we're all muted. It's just the main system needs to be muted in the back.
Okay. Can you guys hear me okay now?
We're good. Dan, go ahead and see if we can hear you.
Yep. I'm going to go ahead and just share, where we're at is the results of last semester's safety walk.
While we're waiting to get Dan back online. Oh, here he
There
is.
he is.
Sorry. That was Terrible. All right. So for me to share my screen, I'm guessing it's the basically the one with the plus sign and not to leave the meeting. So let me try this again. Okay.
It's okay if you want to give us.
Okay. There we go. You should be looking at a screen that has a pie chart in the upper left. If I could just, there we go. Perfect. So this basically shows that we're task complete as from the last safety walk, and we had 249 findings. We've closed out 247 of those. We've got just 2 remaining. One's waiting on material, and the other one's assigned just waiting for time. So I think we're in good shape and ready to have another safety walk. Thanks.
Excellent. So having heard that basically everything's closed out, is there any recommendations for a date? How about with day of the week to start? What's the best evening for students?
Tuesday through Thursday.
Tuesday through Thursday. So if we looked at a Tuesday,
Yeah, because SG won't be able to attend on Mondays.
Okay.
And Fridays students go home, so I would say.
okay.
I would also agree with Tuesdays through Thursdays because for all council and RHA, on Wednesdays our meetings, people be able to attend them.
And do we want to get out before Halloween?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. So I mean that opens up quite a few days. We have a football game that's on a Tuesday.
It's the 28th.
That's a week of Halloween.
Okay, so that's the 28th. That leaves us the 7th, the 14th, and the 21st.
I would do the 14th.
Oh, we had I like the 14th. This is going to be too easy. Dan, can our friends at your team at facilities make the 14th work? Good, got thumbs up from Dan. All right, so we're looking at the 14th, and then what?
This
So
is post sunset, yes.
well, we try to meet at sunset.
Right.
And we bring pizzas out. If it's cold, cocoa and pizza, I guess. And then we'll head out with our team. So if we want to, can somebody give me a start time then that we can promote?
7.
7?
7 to meet.
Sorry?
7 to meet.
7 p.m. to meet. Okay. Meeting location?
In the past, we've done it in the quad right by Boco and the Marquee.
Okay. Quad, Boco, and the Marquee.
Or
So
we could also do the LBJ Mall for those who are going to be driving in for it. Might be easier parking with Alkek right there.
Okay. I'm indifferent. So how does the committee feel?
I like the LBJ Mall idea.
Yeah, a couple head nods. LBJ Mall. All right, LBJ Mall. So my motion would be then that we host the Campus Safety Walk on October the 14th, Tuesday, meeting time 7 p.m., which would be at the LBJ Mall. Have a second?
Second.
Are we
Oh.
setting a second day for Round Rock campus?
I think we might need to loop in the Round Rock folks for that. In the past, we worked really closely with all the Round Rock folks for their date and not just picked it ourselves.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That we're just kind of, I think yes and no, Carla, that we need to loop in the team up there. That's it. So my motion is Tuesday the 14th, 7 p.m., October the 14th, meeting up on the LBJ Mall for the safety walk. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we're good. All right, we knocked out the safety walk pretty fast. Since I've got Dan up on the screen, I'm gonna put you on the spot. Dan, can you give us an update on the very exceptionally important Thorpe Lane lot?
Sure. So, I mean, we did have some delays in finishing that project as a result of, primarily as a result of weather. I mean, we're always happy to see rain in San Marcos because of our challenging water situation related to Edwards Aquifer, but that did delay some of the construction. So, we're currently planning on that project being substantially complete and available at the end of October. And that will still that will add about 400 to 500 additional spaces that will be available to primarily to commuter students.
Yes,
Yeah.
so that dirt, it's just been dirt. Now it's gonna be an improved lot. I've seen the design, Dan, so hats off to your team. The fact that students, I'm staring at the screen, sorry, everybody. The fact that students can come in off the I-35 frontage road and boom, be in the lot, and then the shuttle comes down the middle of the lot. Thank you, sir. Nice job on your team. All right. Let's move to parking. I'd like to start off with some statistical data. And I'll ask Michelle, Lieutenant Fox. Can you give us an update on the total space count by permit? So in other words, how many permits have we sold? And then how many spaces are connected to those that are accessible for that particular permit? I will tell you, this is a question that I've gotten since we took over parking. I think it's an exceptionally valid question.
Yeah, so total spaces for the green are 3537. We have sold to date 3256. We have some people on the waiting list, so we're gonna hopefully open it up tomorrow to get everybody their green permits.
Let's talk about that for a moment.
Yeah.
If I can interrupt you. In looking at two of our housing complexes, which is
Balcones and Cypress.
Balcones and Cypress, we have gone through the sales for those for the residents, and it looks like we do have some open spaces. So Michelle and I will be working on this in the morning, so that the committee's aware that we're hopeful to be able to clear up quite a bit of the waiting list and even create some more opportunities for maybe reserved spaces or some more parking. So I'll keep you all posted on that. We'll have an update for you at our next meeting. Sorry to interrupt, but I thought that was important because we should be adding some spaces.
Yes, and we have the orange lot at 449 spaces, and we've only sold 305. The blue 500 total spaces, and we've only sold 236. So those are the two that we're looking to open up for extra parking for everybody. Silver, we have 646 spaces, and we've sold 342. And the red and the purple, remember, these are revolving for when people come and go. But for purple, we have 3445, and we've sold 6760. And the red, 2805 spaces, and we've sold 3178.
And then remember, there's specific spaces as well, like ADA and other spaces that are on campus. But this gives you kind of a down and dirty look for total number of permits sold, how many spaces we have. I had Lieutenant Fox check our numbers to date. I believe from August 1st till today, we've issued just under 4,500 citations. And on the table or for discussion for the committee tonight is, sorry, my notes are scattered. For the committee tonight for discussion is tickets. And the biggest one is, we talked about this last year, and I'd like to get input tonight. and even take a formal recommendation forward about the concept of a discounted parking citation. So this is very common nationally. It isn't something that we're inventing here. I'll open it for discussion, but what I'm recommending is a $10 discount for a parking citation paid within the first 5 days, or a $5, just, whatever the committee thinks would be relevant for the 2 violations, which would be parking out of zone and no permit. I will open the floor for discussion on, do you think there's other violations that would fit for a discount? Do you even like the idea of the discount? And again, that helps to encourage folks to park correctly. And just for reminder to the committee, citations aren't about citations. Citations are about ensuring that the people that have purchased permits have adequate space to park. What really impacts our parking is people parking out of zone and people parking without a permit. But again, everybody has their moments. So I offer the discount for discussion if y'all would like to start. Don't be shy. You can say it's a dumb idea.
I like the concept of a discount. I think that I've also been looking at kind of the way that other schools do some of theirs, and like UT offers like if you contribute X amount of food cans or donations, then it nixes the price of your ticket altogether. So I think that's also worth exploring at some point. But I do think that a discount for, because if the ticket's going to go up when you don't pay in a certain amount of time, it would make sense that if you pay within a certain immediate time frame that it goes down.
And as a reminder, it's a $40 violation for those two particular ones I picked out. I would not be in support of reducing a fine for parking in an ADA accessible space or a reserved space, because people are paying a lot of money. Any other comments? Do you all like the idea of a discount? Yeah, okay, so a lot of head nods.
You said it was gonna be $10.
That was just my idea.
What is a late fee, 15?
Yeah, I would say make it equitable, but I think 15 down, 15 up.
I think I would bring a little morale up, or at least that some of the because it seemed like park is just going out there to make it all. They are working with people with the park right program as well. I think that kind of gives back to the students to make sure that they know that they did something wrong. They're just going to pay the consequences for their actions, but at least having the idea that they can do that. Now, is this going to be for ticket 1, 2, and 3, or is it going to be ticket 1 through 25, or what?
Yeah, is there like a
It's an idea that I really want, ideas or feedback from y'all. So it could be whatever we want it to be. It's within reason. And that's why we have a cross section of faculty, staff, and students. I'm relying on you all.
I do feel like if we do keep it with a discount, it should be for ticket 1, 2, and 3. Because after 3, I feel like you should be able to see hey, I'm parking in the wrong spot. I know I'm doing it wrong. You're doing it on purpose after that point. So I kind of like after your third chance, it's kind of up to you. Your choice, your fault.
it goes up considerably after a certain amount of tickets. Yes.
Oh, don't put me on the spot like that.
Lieutenant Fox, do you know?
So that is something that
We're
Chief
working
is
on.
wanting to move away from, the excessive parking fee
Yeah,
for the violation.
yeah. That'll take us down another rabbit hole, but our excessive violation fee doesn't necessarily comport with what happens in parking nationally. That excessive fee usually applies to if you do not pay your fines,
Right.
not if you've paid your fines.
Yeah.
So the idea of limiting it to 3 citations, actually, I think that would resolve any escalation of fee. And then as a reminder for everyone, especially those online, TXST Park.
Other way around.
What?
Park TXST.
Park TXST is our new app, which tells you where spaces are, not only where spaces are open, but it will tell you if you're parked in the wrong zone. So your phone will flash and say, gonna get a ticket. I mean, it won't say gonna get a ticket, but citation warning. So it all kind of comes together. So I'm hearing first 3 citations.
I'd recommend discounting it to $15 and give them a week rather than the 5 days.
Okay. I heard some yeses and
15.
15.
And would that be for the first 3 tickets that you receive, period, or for the first 3 of the same type of ticket?
I think the first 3 you receive, period.
Yeah.
Because then you could have somebody park in a red reserve or like in a green or a purple or even a red, and each one is different. So you could have a total of like 9 discounted because you're parking in 3 separate spots or even more than that.
That'll be advertised as, these are the only citations that you get. These are the citations that apply to that.
Yeah, and the nice thing about our parking system is we can program it so when the public safety officer issues the parking citation, it'll automatically know to either populate it with the discount or not. And then, so you're all aware, we did update the system about 2 weeks ago now, maybe a week ago. In the past, you couldn't pay your citation online without having your Texas State SSO. Now you can just go online and pay your fine. You don't have to have a secured login. I will add to this, even though I brought this up. I think the reverse argument could be that we're going to encourage people to park badly.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'd be remiss if I didn't say it since no one brought it up.
Well, that's why I think you should only have your initial 3 as opposed to you did not park in a spot 3 times, then you get discounted. You parked in a red spot 3 times, you get discounted. It's your 3 and that's it.
Yeah, 3 total.
I still think that $25 is still an amount that would
Yes.
not
feel comfortable.
not feel comfortable for students who want to just have to pay because they parked incorrectly. Because at that point, you can park in OBJ for far cheaper. So
And the nice part is you'll be able to use the QR code on the citation to go to pay your fine, and the system will know it's discounted, and it will know if you've made it within the time.
I don't know if we addressed her questions. When does this reset? Like
3
just say if
tickets.
I come in as a freshman this semester, is it just 3 my whole career here? Or is it
3
every
per year.
Every fall resets?
But any ideas?
Well, I would say that you're experiencing different parking challenges, right? Like your first year, your green residential space, you've never parked here, you don't really understand the process. And then your next year, like let's say you get a purple pass or you have a gold pass and you haven't really understood how that's operating either. I think operating under the assumption that students are not maliciously trying to park poorly, I would say it should reset because you're now experiencing a different kind of parking issue.
Like, so resets until the first.
Yeah.
Or it resets if you go up to get a different permit color. So your first, when you're green, you get 3 warnings. Then your next year, if you go to purple, you would get another 3 warnings. You would stay with your 3 your entire time
And
that
then
you
one
had your
pass.
purple. And if you become a staff member and it goes to red, then you would get 3.
Yeah.
So as opposed to on a yearly basis, it's when that new permit color comes into effect.
Okay.
Yeah, I
So-
think you could, follow that scheme and then kind of re-evaluate after the first year.
First year? Okay. I don't think that sounds bad at all. Somebody want to make a motion for a recommendation for the specifics of the change, other than me? Yeah.
Okay. I motion to make discounted tickets for your first 3 of a certain color pass. If you pay it within 7 days. $15 discount
Yeah, out of zone and no permit.
and out of zone and no.
Okay.
A second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. I will bring that up to senior leadership, and we all have a response for the group probably by tomorrow, the next day. And then the implementation process is actually fairly simple. They're very simple to change. Okay, next for parking. Last year we discussed there was I think it came from staff assembly, a concern about the inconsistency for the pay to park rates. And so as a brief overview for pay to park, P8, P9, P14, R13, R14, 24/7 look to be currently, when AMP is available, which is the pay to park, is $5 per day. Charles Austin is currently $5 per hour for a max of 4 hours. Moore Street is currently $5 per hour for a max of 4 hours. And the JCK lot is $1 for the first 30 minutes and then $5 for every additional 30 minutes. Yes, so your head shake is agreed with. So we are looking at this, and I'm looking for a recommendation, or I have an idea. Obviously, as the director of parking, but I want to know I want to have your input on this of changing all pay to park to $5 per hour with a max of $20 per day. So instead of saying somewhere 4 hours or 3 hours, that this ability to do pay to park would be $5 an hour no matter where you're at, as long as it's a pay to park zone. And then if you choose to stay for the entire day, it would just not exceed $20. So it wouldn't cut you off at a low end. We had an incident where a student parked in a pay to park zone. I want to say it was Moore Street, but don't quote me. And they had, I think they were even working, and they had 4 hours, and the system, the way we had it configured, would not allow them to get the 5th hour or not allow them to reset, and then they got a citation. And so by bringing this consistency to the system, like we talked about it at the end of last year, we did table. My recommendation would be, I would ask for the committee's feedback, is $5 an hour with a max charge of $20 for the day. So if you're there 6 hours, it's $20. If you're there, 5 hours, 20. It's not bouncing around. And then there's no confusion across the campus. So I open it up for discussion.
Can I ask you a question, just for verification? What type of parking exists outside of JCK?
There's Charles Austin at the dog park.
Yeah.
That zone is managed by us now, by TXST. There is Moore Street, which is along the soccer field.
No, I mean outside of JCK itself.
Like
Edward
Oh,
Gray
it's-
Street Garage is right there.
The what?
Are you asking
The
about?
garage is right
I misunderstood.
Well, outside of the administration building, I thought we used to have, at some point, short-term parking, like 30-minute parking.
That is it. It's pay to park, and so the JCK lot is $1 for the first 30 minutes,
Right.
And then it's $5 for every additional 30 minutes.
So you're recommending moving?
So I would be recommending, but definitely open to discussion, $5 for an hour for any pay to park zone on campus.
what was the initial cost of the first lots that you listed?
$5.
An hour.
there. With a max of 4
The
hours.
P8, P9, P14, R13, R14. I want to make sure I got the timings right, but it's $5. It can be $5 per day.
The majority of those are already operating at that.
They're already operating full. Yeah, I mean, they're like P9's a premium lot.
Right.
And that's actually very undervalued for P9. And I want to make sure that our permit holders are getting in. So it kind of has it's up and a little bit on some, and then making it more palatable. And I will say this, I'm looking for, I mean, Kat will capture all your recommendations for, do you want consistency? Do you want to leave it as it is? Do you care about consistency? Again, it wasn't that I received a bunch of complaints. It was just, it was a topic that was brought up by staff assembly, who's not here tonight. So my thought was, let's, if you don't feel comfortable as a team yet to make a recommendation, that's fine, because I will tell you this, we have started a full-on audit of parking. And maybe I apologize, but maybe I should share that first before we discuss this further. We have secured a consultant to come in and audit all of parking. The consultant will be on campus on the 15th. We're on a speed date with this. We want to get this done. This has been something that since we have taken on parking under UPD, thought that was exceptionally important for us as a campus community, with all the construction going on, with all the growth, even as a school, all the amazing growth. And so just simply this company will be here the week of the 15th. I will be asking the committee for any day other than a Monday where you can come together. If the lunch hour's the best time, I will make sure we have lunch. If it's after 5 p.m., but I really need all the committee members to be there. This is way too important. So they're going to be auditing, our inventory, the things that they're going to measure and observe inventory and utilization and create an analysis of such. They're going to do an operational review of the parking system. Why do faculty and staff renew a permit every year when they can just be in a subscription model and their permits they just renew? And if you need to update your license plate, you'll get an email from us in July that says, if your plate didn't change, don't worry, your permit's good. Because I will tell you, we write a lot of citations for faculty and staff who forget to renew their permit. I would be that person that forgets to renew their permit. I'm not gonna lie, that'd be me. And Adriana as well. So going to the subscription model is one they're going to look at for us. It's a little more consistent with industry standards. They're going to benchmark best practices at peer institutions. We will be providing them a list of peer institutions, or we did. What is parking demand projections for a 10-year planning horizon based on anticipated enrollment, employment, as well as campus development associated with the 25 through 35 campus master plan. That's imperative for us to have that information. 2 10-year pro forma financial pro formas, the first reflecting status quo conditions, the second representing an adoption of the recommendations from this company. Walker is the consulting group. And then recommendations including organizational recommendations, operational, technological, financial, to make sure that we're providing our community with the best parking possible. This is a good group. I've worked with a lot of vendors over the last billion years. I feel really good about this. I know you are going to get to meet with them as well. This seems like a very solid team, and they do understand our requests for the type of audit and assessment that we want. So knowing that, tonight is, I wanted to pose this question about the parking rates for the pay to park, but we're so close to the audit that I think some of this stuff probably should wait a little bit as well, because they have some things, some priorities that are going to be first. But I would still like to open it for discussion now after blathering on about the audit.
What is the maximum amount of time you can park in one of these pay to park?
So it varies. I mean, it varies by the space. Like, so like right now it is what it is, but Moore Street, you can't go past 4 hours. The other ones are, can be by the day. JCK lot's $5 for every 30 minutes after the first 30 minutes. Well, that's $10 an hour. So I don't know, somebody, if you stayed all day, you'd pay over $200.
You couldn't be in there like overnight, like circumvent permit and just paying $20 a day.
If you want to pay $240.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just here like.
Yeah, and what's nice about this audit though too is they're going to look at our permit fees. They're going to look at our utilization and is the current configuration red, blue, purple, residential, staff, the way it's configured, is that even correct, or is there a better way? It's not that parking doesn't work or has been wrong. It is time to go to, it's time for the next step or the next. I always say 2.0. It's time for 2.0. It's been a while for this audit.
Excuse me. I do feel like at minimum, we should make every pay to park $5 an hour. So like JCK be $5 for 30 minutes. And the next emergency is $5. Make it a flat rate of $5 an hour at minimum.
Okay, so Ricky's got $5 an hour.
But not to exceed.
Not to exceed.
$20 a day.
Did you like that, or
Yeah.
did you want that to be
I like
higher or lower?
$20.
Okay.
Any recess at midnight?
Yeah.
I mean, but would we include that for like the pay to park by Sewell Park? Because if you're there for, say, 6 hours floating the river, then you're just gonna be playing,
You're going to pay $20.
right, and that's essentially 4 hours there.
Yeah, this is a great. I'm glad you brought that up. As a reminder for all of our Texas State students, if you live in San Marcos, you are a San Marcos community member, and remember, you can park for free at City Park. You just need to go in and enter your license plate online at the city's website. If you don't do that, it is 25 a day or 15 a day.
I think it's 25.
25 a day. So for Texas State students, especially for any Bobcat families that are going to see this meeting later, please let your students know. Like my son's a student, but we live in San Marcos. So if he chooses to park at City Park, there's no cost. It's free. Just a reminder. Sorry, it's overlooked a little bit.
One thing I also wanted to bring up is I remember walking past the pay to park sign earlier. And it says after, I think 5 p.m. That's what it goes to permit only, not permit only parking. Like if you're permit, you can park in this area without paying for it.
So some of the pay to park says it's only pay to park like after 3 p.m. or after 5 p.m. It's so that we don't impede permit holders.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's true around Sewell Park because the goal, you still have to be able to park our peak. We know our peak times, and the audit's going to either confirm or tell us our peak times have changed. But that makes sure that you as a permit holder get to park in that lot. So it only becomes, we call it AMP, but pay to park after a certain period, so permit holders don't get.
Gypped of a spot.
I'm sorry?
Gypped of a spot.
Gypped of a spot. I was trying to think of a better way to say it. I didn't have one. So Ricky's got $5 per hour, not to exceed $20 in a day.
What was the initial rationale for JCK being 30-minute increments? Was there one?
I believe initially it was because people have to go and conduct business there.
Yeah.
And so there's got to be enough parking in front of the building so students can get into one stop or to the different offices that they visit. And so that was the rationale. But I think we're not going to change anything tonight, but I want to take this recommendation because one of the things we're doing is the consultant did ask for any changes we were contemplating to give those to them in advance.
Yeah.
And that helps them with their assessment. So that's why it's important to know what you all.
I also just think realistically, like 30 minutes in JCK is not enough. If you're going to one stop, you're going to have to wait. And if you are going to have a meeting, you're going to have to. So systematically, I don't think it works either. So I agree.
Okay. Do you agree with Ricky? Any other ideas on the topic of the pay to park? I wanted to make sure that we were responsive to staff assembly from last year.
I agree with it, but I think in the aspect of like Sewell Park, where we're going to be looking at, we might have a lot of city members or visitors coming just for the river specifically, maybe not having the 4-hour cap on it and having it extended, maybe 6 hours there.
Well, we're talking no cap.
But if we have it at $20 a cap, is what we're saying,
$20 is the most you can pay.
which is only 4 hours at the park.
It would be for the day.
Right. But if we're looking at it, that's if they're there for 6 hours.
It's still $20.
Right. But wouldn't we want it to where it goes up to maybe that they're paying 30 then?
No, I mean, I didn't. Does anybody want to charge more?
Why not 50? Let's just like.
Well, no, but I can understand the reasoning it's sold because we have a lot of foot traffic there. We're gonna have people there that are 6, maybe 8 hours because they're consistently floating the river.
Mhm.
And so $20 really doesn't seem like a lot when they're there taking up a spot for 8 or 9.
Especially when it's $25 to go pay in the city park, you could come and pay $20 at Sewell Park.
Yeah, but I think they're already like, especially if they're using like tubes from the rec center and things like that, like they're already spending money at the institution itself to float.
But if we're just
And again, with your permit, you can
Right.
park there.
exactly. So, and I'm just saying that just for visitors who aren't Texas State affiliated, who don't have a permit. Because if you do have a permit, you can still park there during the weekend, so you wouldn't be paying anything.
So would you want to match the city?
I don't necessarily know if just to match the city, but just to say if not, maybe not have like a 4-hour cap on it. Just for that, just for those locations specific of where it's more visitor based.
I mean, the cap really is the amount you pay. It's not the hours. So at 4 hours, you're right. You're at
Mhm.
$20 and you can stay for the rest of the day and you won't pay anymore.
Mhm.
And that's, at least that model is definitely a consistent model. So, I mean, I can present it. I can present the multiple options, but I think the thing to present to the consultant at this point is do we want consistency? So we want consistency. We don't want to limit by hours because that feels like doesn't work. You're brilliant in you're not going to spend 30 minutes there. So that's a great observation. And put all that together and say, we would like to go to a not to exceed dollar amount, and then task the consultant with telling us what, based on what they've learned, what would work. But as long as you're all good with consistent across campus for the most part, and either, whether the fees maxed out at 20 or 25, we can come to that. We can get that from them. Would that be good?
I would prefer consistency over like getting an extra $10 out of families that are visiting school. That's fine.
I got you.
I think one other thing is like Charles Austin. We do have a lot of baseball games out there.
That's what I'm
If-
thinking.
If they go out there and park, a baseball game could last more than 4 hours.
Softball game's the same.
Yeah, so that's made it tough. The 4-hour thing's made it tough. I'm with you.
And we have visiting teams where they come.
So they're paying more for parking than they
The ticket to
are
get in.
admission.
Yeah, and the goal I think should be to encourage people to want to go to sporting events and not make it as costly as it is.
I don't disagree. Well, I feel like I have enough. Is there any more comment on this topic?
Dan does have a question.
Go ahead, Dan.
Of City Park. So I just think that, one thing is that, if $15 a day is what they charge at City Park for parking, it's $5 an hour. Once you get to 15, you can stay as long as you like. It's they top at $15. There's an issue though, if you're a non-resident and you park there and you pay the $15 and you leave the park. And so when the council was discussing that, they were trying to discourage our students from using it as kind of informal commuter parking. So we just want to be aware of that if that is going to be one of your parking strategies. For us, I just think we need to take a look at, however we structure our pay to park in the vicinity of City Park, we need to take a look at how they're structuring theirs to make sure we don't drive an unintended behavior is all.
I agree.
Okay.
And I heard about this. I guess some people went to the city park. They parked there and then they went off site to go somewhere else. And I think it was $100 fine per vehicle is what I heard. So it's pretty hefty.
Wow.
From the city.
Yeah. So definitely we definitely
shared
want,
earlier,
especially if they're paying $15 for all day.
City's
And I'm coming
website,
to us.
your plate, and it'll have all the rules.
Never mind.
All right. Thank you, sir. We're almost through parking. Okay, on the week of the 15th, Monday is not going to be a good day for a couple of members. So we have Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I would like to come to a consensus now. Again, this is so important. Yes. The week of the September 15th. They're on a fast track. And then we will also have open public session. And we'll make sure that we post that as well.
I can do the 18th.
18th,
I can also do the 18th.
18th. Doc?
18.
I can't do any Tuesday, Thursday during the day because I teach. So it would have to be in the evening.
Okay.
Are they amenable to evenings?
They're totally, yes. They will do whatever we ask of them. They're not, you're enjoying meeting them. It's a good group. I'm open to the 18th in the evening. And I'm open to, is Wednesday a bad day for y'all? If, let's see.
It's a bad day for me because starting tomorrow, the faculty.
Oh, yes,
The
sir.
Senate Advisory Group will start.
Okay. So it sounds like the evening on the 18th. Is that good for this group? I'm seeing head nods. Okay. And what is a good time to start? And then we'll bring dinner so that you all don't have to worry about running to dinner. And whatever time works for y'all.
5 or 5:30?
5:30? Okay. My thought is we'll get the location. Is there any preference to the location that makes it easier for anybody? I mean, we do have the police department on Academy where we have we have the training room, it's got a pretty good setup, good screens. We can set up the dinner in the conference room. We have parking at that time easily on the second floor with visitor spaces. Would you all be okay with the police department? Okay. All right, then, and there we go, Kat. The 18th, police department for the safety committee to meet with a consultant. And then for the community session that's open to anybody in the community, I'll get that date and time out as soon as I get a confirmation. Man, you guys are way too good tonight. You are wonderful. Okay. Next, there's a couple updates because we have excellent partnerships always with student government, which is our Bobcat Safe Ride. And I'd ask Kat if you could give the committee an update on Bobcat Safe Ride.
Absolutely. So for those that don't know, this last academic year, we had over 34,000 Bobcats that we got home safely for the academic year. This year, we started back up on August 23rd. Since then, we have had, well, from August 23rd to August 31st, we're sitting at 857 riders. Including the first, we've hit over 900. We've also implemented Code Maroon rides, which is what previously was the emergency safe rides, but we've rebranded it. That way it doesn't feel like you're just in an emergency to use this. So we've rebranded it Code Maroon rides. We have had a couple of students who have called over the last week and weekend over their acts. Adriana has a closer number than I do.
Yeah, I think we had 33.
Mm-hmm.
33 Code Maroon rides. This wasn't an initiative from student government. It was an idea from student government, which is you find yourself in an unsafe predicament, doesn't rise to the level you need to call 911. Because to be clear, if there's an emergency and you need help immediately, call 911. This process was set up for, as an example, someone called for a Code Maroon ride, which goes directly in the police dispatch center. They were in a situation over the weekend, found themselves alone and no resources and some other mitigating circumstances that definitely warranted the call. I just want to make sure everybody understands how this works. When you call as a student, we'll go anywhere in the city to come get you. When you call, the dispatcher is going to stay on the phone with you till someone gets to you. And the goal is to keep you safe. So you go to a party, you get separated, you've been drinking, someone's, acting strangely about you. I always say creeping on you, if that makes sense. Somebody starts creeping on you and you don't feel like you need to call the police. It's not where it's to that degree, but you need to get out of that situation and you need to get home. You call us. Not everybody has money for Uber. Not everybody has access to the resources. So, but I will say this program only works because we're a good community. So you don't want to wait for a safe ride. You're in a position where you have other means. Please use those other means. You go to shopping and you want to get a ride home. That's not a reason because we're committed to this program. So I hats off to students always with their brilliant ideas. But this one is our second year and it's working. We just gave it a new name because it was too confusing.
One thing I would like to note for Bobcat Safe Rides for this semester, we are trying something different of where we are changing the time that we start taking students off campus. The buses do run till 10:30 at night for drop off. So we're playing around week by week right now of starting at 9, 9:30, 10, and then 10:30 to try to relieve some of the pressure of on-campus to on-campus rides and eliminating the amount of canceled rides or students that have an extreme wait time just because they don't want to wait for that night bus to go home. So that is something we're playing around with the idea with right now.
Well, I mean, ultimately with student government, the goal is to provide on to off and off to on. I mean, it shouldn't really matter either way. It's to get our students a safe ride. And as a reminder, if you're impaired or for whatever reason, intoxicated, it is not a reason to not call us. We're not coming to get you because you've been drinking. We're coming to get you home safe. The only time that we're going to, our safe ride drivers are going to ask for a police officer if there's, medically you need some help. So then the officer will come out. And if our safe ride van is in the city, our drivers talk to dispatch. They're going to call our dispatch, and our officers are going to go to the van to support our students. We're not going to request the city police. It'll be our team, and if that requires some medical care or something like that, we'll take care of it. Make sure that our student gets service. Any questions on that current program? No. Okay. Sorry, let me just get to my list here. My computer's not participating. As a reminder, we have identified our 2 new mental health officers. Our goal has always been to expand our mental health officer program. David Velasco Martinez and Monique Grijalva have been identified as our 2 newest mental health officers. We're still waiting from our partners at Paws and Stripes in Florida they're still training our 2 new dogs. As a reminder, you can find them online, Paws and Stripes. The Brevard County Sheriff's Office brings in strays from the SPCA there in Florida and their region. They then use inmates in the jail to provide basic training. And then when the dog's ready, police officers from all over the United States will descend upon the Sheriff's Department for 2 weeks, where they will train with the original trainers. And so the officers are working with the Sheriff's Department, the inmates at the jail. And it's just like, this one is just so cool. I mean, it's just the right thing to do, right? It's a win-win all the way around. So my hope is we will have 2 dogs by the end of October, and very excited about we will have now when they both come back to work, there will be a mental health officer and a therapy dog on duty every day of the week. And you're going to see we're taking the program a little bit different direction. We're gonna have the dogs out in the field consistently, daily. They'll actually be assigned on patrol. And so that is a big one for us. And I believe I shared at the end as well, although I'm not sure that I did, we are for the first time adding a victim advocate. So we have in the process right now, we've had several candidates. We're getting ready to host the interviews for that position. That will be embedded at at Texas State, and they will work very closely with the women's shelter and our peers here in Hayes, who've been a great support. But their primary goal is to serve students, survivors of domestic violence, family violence, and sexual assault. So that is a big one for us. And then in addition, here shortly, pretty soon, as soon as staffing permits, we will have a full-time sexual assault investigator so that we can ensure that we're prioritizing these types of horrific crimes. So good, get ready, and I will keep you posted when we meet. I'll give you an update at the next meeting. Any questions about any of those programs? Okay. I believe that's what we had for this evening. I'm going to ask for member updates and then any public questions or comments. And Kat, if you want to call us off for not UPD folks, but their members,
Okay, yes.
for any updates they may have for their section
Yes.
or questions.
Ricky, do you have any for Resident Hall Association?
Just that, the fact that we're starting our hall council applications opened up today. So we're hoping to have at minimum 80 people for hall council. I think at total we'll have around 125, I think.
Wow.
We had around 276 applications.
Wow.
All right. Kate, do you have anything from DHRL?
We are full and thriving. So I'm the new exec director for Israel. Sorry, I was moving all around campus today. So
Oh, you're good.
I didn't realize like a fully set up front panel. So I'll be ready next time. Yeah, we are at 103% occupancy and working through our wait list for the census day next week.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Moving, I thought, was phenomenal.
Yeah, they did a great job.
Yeah, you guys
We are putting
rock.
some extra signage and some of the fences around the Hilltop 2 construction site. Is that starting to go to try to eliminate some fence hopping in that area? So we're gonna try to do some of those mitigating things before we have to bump up to like higher fences and cameras. Hopefully we can just do some corrective.
Okay, I promise to stop hopping
Yeah,
the
please.
fence. Okay, I didn't hop it. I think I went.
So the folks aren't in an active construction zone on the right.
Right.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, it's scary. Well, awesome. Glad you're here.
Carla, do you have any?
I do. So the only update that I have is for the building emergency coordinators that we're gonna start having trainings at the end of this month. It's gonna be on the 29th at 2:00. The invites are gonna be sent tomorrow.
And that's all building coordinators?
All buildings. We have over 250 building emergency coordinators.
Wow.
In all of the campuses.
Thank you.
Dr. Supancic, do you have any?
Not really. As you all know, the faculty senate is not convened right now, so we're a senate advisory group during this fall. So if we get approved by the board of regents, we'll be a seated senate come January 1st of next year. So we appreciate if you could, come at that time, but not during fall unless, we coordinate with Lynn.
Okay. Yeah, count me in. Always. Always.
Abby, do you have any updates?
I know, so for Boco's Glow Run, we're changing the route a little bit this year, so we'll be asking you guys for just approval on some of the road closure stuff.
Got it.
We're hoping that gets passed. The route's gonna be a little longer this year. It'll be 2.3 miles instead of 2, but we got a lot of complaints about hills and stairs, and so our goal was to minimize how many hills and stairs they have to go up. Unfortunately, they'll still have to take on Alkek, but they get to go down one of the worst hills instead of up it. So, we tried, but we'll see what you guys think about the route itself once you guys get presented that. Outside of that, working on a couple different initiatives that I'll probably need some safety perspectives on as we get closer and there's more conversations actually had that are there. One is investigating the possibility of 24-hour library. That's obviously going to bring up some safety concerns, issues, etc. But it's something that was passed by the Senate last year to at least try it out during finals week and the week before. I still have to meet with the provost over the library to kind of have that conversation of where we can open that up to, but just wanted to be transparent that is something we're investigating.
No, I like that. And just so you know, we do staff the library with a public safety officer, and we've increased our public safety officer staff by using students.
Right.
So that does open up some opportunity as well for additional staffing if you were to go to the 24.
Good enough.
And then lastly, Dan, do you have any updates for us? Can we mute? Colby.
Or two topics, just really quick. If I could just share my screen. See if I can do. You should be looking at it's basically the construction closure for the area adjacent. This is for our Hilltop 2 and dining facility construction site. This is a very large construction site just off of the Matthews Street garage. So we had this whole area had been unavailable for traffic except for service deliveries, but we got some pretty good feedback from the residents of Alameda and Cibolo Halls. And so we have made an adjustment, right? So it's still restricted traffic as you come out of Matthews Street garage, restricted traffic for drop off and service deliveries only. So kind of envision that like when you go to the airport and you pull up to the curb, it's not for parking, it's for active loading and unloading. But we wanted to make sure that for, deliveries and to be able to pick people up or to drop off things for your dorm rooms, that you had access to be able to get back here. I would say that we have seen students that have been cutting through the construction area, like basically splitting the fence in order to take a shortcut through here. We're hoping with some better signage that, that will prevent that in the future. I would say not a lot of activity in this site right now, but very soon in October, we're going to see a lot of construction traffic and equipment. So while right now it's not, it doesn't appear to be a safety concern, I'd say just if we could just be cognizant of the fencing and respect that. I do think we showed some good flexibility in being able to provide some additional access back into this area. But for that to work, it has to be cooperative. So I'd say that was what I would like to share.
Okay, I'd like to open up, Kat, have we got everybody?
We have.
Open up to any questions from the vast audience. Any comments? AC Benitez, anything, sir? Good. Good over here. Isabel? Oh, go ahead.
So for Bobcat Safe Rides, I'm a commuting student. Is that, I was just wondering if there have been some situations that have happened at the parking lot. I walked my car by myself. Is that something where y'all do go to the parking lot as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So Bobcat Safe Rides will pick up anywhere on campus, and they'll take anywhere on campus or off campus. And for that instance is what we are playing around with the idea of delaying the time of going off campus right now, just for those students who do have night classes who would have to, it takes 45 minutes to wait for your bus to get to the parking lot, but where Safe Rides might be 10 minutes instead. So yes, absolutely, we'll pick you up wherever your class ends, and then we'll take you to the parking lot.
Thank you for that question, which reminds me, we are adding a wheelchair accessible van.
Yes.
As soon as, very soon. So I'm going to say January. I was hoping by November, but we'll see. I mean, so it is happening though. It will happen.
Is it going to be like a question on the app itself of like, you need accessible, that way you know where the commission's at?
Typically it is.
Typically it is.
I
I
don't
know
remember.
we will be looking at a new app developer. This was our last year in it. There is a lot of ADA stuff that the current app developer isn't able to do. So we're exploring the options of a different developer that is a little bit more ADA friendly, both for drivers, navigators, and for passengers as well.
And we're on, and I'll even expand on that. We're looking at making this our VIP service. So that van is going to also be used by our public safety officer students for patrol, which means we could have an ADA van available 24/7. I mean, I don't want to burn out the one car, but we could have it available a lot more than just the safe ride hours as well. But obviously to start, it is the safe ride hours to ensure that all students get access to a safe ride. But I see it expanding for sure. All right. With that, I would like to adjourn the meeting. Thank you all. I look forward to seeing you on the day we selected.
October 1st, which is a Wednesday. will be-
September 18th. So I'll see every.
Yes, and then our next meeting is October 1st.
Perfect. That's great timing. So see you on the 18th and then October 1st. And I do appreciate your commitment to this. I know it's a lot to get over here, but thank you so much. All right, everybody have a good night.